to the Sexy Cigar Lounge. I am your host at J-Dub the King. I got the family here, man. We got a full staff on board tonight, man. What's up, Big Rocket Miller?
Hey, what's up, everybody, man? It's good to be back. Seems like it's been a long time since I've been on, man. But I'm glad to be here. I can't wait to get the conversation started, man.
For sure, man. It's always a honor and a pleasure, you know what I'm saying, to have your presence, man, in the Cigar Lounge podcast. You did what I'm saying. I got my
Yes, sir.
dog Drew. What's up, Drewski?
What up, man? What's going on? Hey, it's your boy Drewski. Man, make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at KingDrew_430. Hey, I'm ready for this topic tonight because I'm about to get in y'all ass. I'm just playing. Pause.
Oh,
Pause.
Whoa. My little bro Jojo, what's up, Jojo?
Man, we're going with y'all, man. Just here for another episode, man. At JoJo's World 88. I'm just here to just speak my piece. Back to you, big bro.
For sure, for sure. And you already know I got B Smooth, aka that white slut. Saint Brent in the house. What's up, Brent?
Hey man, hey, it's Say underscore Brent on all social media platforms. JJ, give me a sec. I want to holler at these Facebook freeloaders. You know what I mean? Hey, look, y'all got to click one extra damn link to subscribe to the channel. I always teach y'all all on Facebook, watching the podcast. Click that extra link and follow, subscribe to the channel, man. That shit's totally free. Get your freeload ass and subscribe to the channel, man. Say underscore Brent on all social media platforms.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. You always on top of it, bro. Pause. Uh, Last but not least, y'all already know your favorite auntie in the building. What's up, DW?
What's up, y'all? Happy Taco Tuesday. I'm ready to get in this conversation. Like Brent said, go ahead and subscribe. Y'all be looking because we see how many views we get after the show's over with. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And go. Anyway, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like it, comment, or whatever you want to do. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at The Real DW.
Hey, man. We got a bunch of watchers right now, man. I know they're on Facebook. Hey, if you on Facebook right now, go over to uh, YouTube and subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the goddamn notification bell, man, so you can get these, you know what I'm saying, notifications. So you can get front row seat tickets to the livest podcast on YouTube, man. Hey, man, today's topic, man, is our relationships built on selfishness. Our relationships built on selfishness, man. What y'all think about that, man?
Um,
I hope, man. We got some
It's not
cat
most of
gadget
the time, is
tub.
it? I mean, it depends on what type of relationship. If it's family, most definitely. And shit, I think a lot of them are based on selfishness. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to dress it up a little bit, but I say about 60% of them is based off selfishness.
Hey, I'll say this: most people are in a relationship for what they get, not for what they give. You
Man,
want me to break that down? I
that's
can.
deep, dog. Break it down for me, man.
So the reason why I just take my relationship for instance. The reason why we are in relation with one another is like I like or love or appreciate and adore what I get from it. And then because of what I get, then I decide to then give. You know what I mean? If at any point I'm dissatisfied with what I get, then some people would tend to hold back on what they offer and what they give. So it's all contingent on your needs being met. And for that reason alone, relationships are selfish. They're definitely self-serving. And I don't think that's wrong with that. No one goes into a relationship to give everything and receive nothing in return. I just don't think that's why we
but
get,
but
get
but you
into
know what?
relationships.
You know what, Rock? You know what I think is creating those type of situations. I'm gonna throw a new one at y'all. It's called post-traumatic relationship disorder. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of people have experienced
In
that.
your
So
did you find that out in your journal of hood medicine?
right, right. Yeah, it's in the new DMV 6. You know what I mean? But no, I just think a lot of people have experienced a lot of, heartbreak and things, disappointment in their past relationships. So they go into their next relationship expecting the ultimate reward with giving less effort. And I don't think that's how the stock
I,
market works.
I was having a cigar on Sunday with some ladies and some gentlemen. We were all talking about relationships, of course. And I say, and people was talking about. I happen to be like, I don't know why I ended up being, but I was really like the only married guy in the group. You know what I mean? And so, and they were talking about how diluted the pool is, how disgruntled they are with the selections. And I say this: the fact of the matter is, the majority of all our relationships in life are gonna fail, and we should enjoy the failure. We should have we should go into relationships understanding that they're not going to work out 9 times out of 10, but I'm going to be the best version of myself, and I'm going to allow that other person to be the best version of them. Best version of them. I'm not going to ask them for things that they can't provide, and certainly I'm not going to promise things that I can't give. And when you go into a relationship with that mindset, even though they may not work out, people aren't what I don't think people leave with what you're talking about, Brent, post relationship disorder. They can leave on terms that are somewhat agreeable, and everybody uh, leaves with their own dignity. They don't feel like they've been shortchanged or taken advantage of.
I just feel like it's kind of like the term that Brent used kind of, it kind of threw me for a loop. But now that I think about it, it's kind of like if you learning and constantly learning from past relationships and relationships you have with family members, relationships, co-workers, any type of relationship you have, you should be learning something from it, whether it's good, bad. Okay, I don't need to do this anymore. Self-reflection sometimes when it comes to it. So I don't think it's always a bad thing, but you can get some good out of it to take on to the next relationship, I think.
But the double. What about the ones where you know you're in a relationship with a person and they don't think that they do nothing wrong, and they constantly
That's a
uh
red flag to me.
and you always have to uh, uh, uh you know I guess cater to their feelings and emotions, and you find yourself just suffering in silence. Like I said last night, behind the fact that this person feel like they don't do nothing wrong at all.
I think a person that thinks they do nothing wrong at all is a very selfish person. They're unrealistic and they're a walking red flag and contradiction. Leave me alone, you're not my king. Because I don't believe in anybody being absolutely perfect, the ideal Prince Charming or Queen, you know what I mean, Cinderella or anything like that. Somebody you're gonna come with something. If you come to me saying you got all this together, I'm be like, come on, Sting.
So,
Be honest.
so, so, D-Dub, is it that they think they're perfect, or they accept their imperfections and they don't apologize for them?
No,
This is
I
who
think
I.
they think they're perfect.
Okay.
I've ran into people like that. They the first ones to say, "Oh, well, I don't do this, and I do this, and this should be this way. I expect this, I expect that." Without even hearing another person's side, because they so up here, and I'm completely healed, and I got all this to offer. The world owes me something. Those are red flags to me. At this
Yeah.
big age I'm at, it's kind of like, okay, I still don't believe nobody's perfect.
Hmm.
No, that's nobody perfect, but I think people have forgotten how to compromise in relationships. You know what I'm saying? They've forgotten how to properly, you know what I'm saying, communicate issues without acting out, without being in their feelings, and people have forgotten how to listen and understand what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? And and being able to have a big girl, big boy draws on and listen to honesty without, you know what I'm saying, being in your feelings and running away from the truth. You feel what I'm saying?
Comes with maturity and you know what I mean, self reflection a lot. Because we don't always end up like that. It took me a long time. Honestly, it took me a long time to realize, okay, look, you might need to change this up. You might need to switch this up. Don't take this so personal. Don't internalize it. And everybody ain't gonna get that. You know what I mean? We'll get bits and pieces of it, but everybody ain't ready for it. You ain't gonna always be ready for it or ready for that particular change and say, you know what, this is kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. Let me figure this out. What's next? But it's kind of like a self accountability fact that you saying to yourself, look, this ain't work this time. What do I do next? How do I fix this going forward so I don't run into the same thing of generational curses or generational trauma and things of that sort? So I just think we got to take a lot of self accountability when it comes to maturity a lot. And everybody ain't ready. You can't make somebody ready.
What you guys say about that, JoJo?
Rob, turn that ring.
Yeah, they ring loud. I didn't say just in general as far as for that. I don't know. Like, as far as in just for me, I don't think relationships are built off selfishness, man. Well, looking at it though, man, I think it kind of is. I mean, both people got a certain interest in mind, though, man. But I think it becomes unselfish whenever they come together and truly build. Most of the time before it's usually self. I forgot what I was about to say,
Hey,
but
hey,
yeah,
how you doing?
I just I believe it's some self involved.
When I say I, that's me taking accountability for myself, little Billy Goat. I don't say we when I'm working on myself or something that D Dub needs to work on. I'm not gonna say we because I got my own demons I got to bear, my own thing, my crosses I got to bear. So I don't put we in everything because I know what I need to work on, and hopefully he knows what he needs to work on. So that's why I say I until we become a whole unit. So right now I'm single, so I'm talking about I, myself, me, myself, and I. Something I need to do before I go into something else. Not being able to be a we because I'm so selfish worried about myself, but I want to come in with something to offer and not a whole lot of baggage. I'm coming with some shit, but not everything. Go ahead,
Hey man,
Rob.
Lexi made a good point and said that most relationships and marriages are built off of businesses. How many of y'all agree with that?
It's definitely a business deal now.
Uh,
I
I,
agree.
I
I mean, it's a merger of things. A merger, pretty much, when you do that, just like a company goes into another company too, when they be having those things too. It's a merger, pretty much. If you're talking from a business standpoint.
I think understanding the business of marriage gives you a good baseline to navigate marriage in and of itself. Like understanding what marriage is a union between two individuals that bring, their talents and abilities together to create something greater than themselves, right? So if you go in a marriage with that idea, right, then I believe you can you can keep from getting um caught up in not having things your way and then want to throw it all away. You know what I mean?
But Rob, how do you prepare somebody you know what I'm saying, that's not married or ever been married for something like that? How do you prepare as a person that, you know what I mean, hadn't experienced that yet going into it? Like, you know, I know a couple of y'all have been married before or married or about to get married, you know. How do you prepare yourself mentally and all the other stuff that goes with it to go into that partnership and look at it like the way you explained?
I mean, you have to talk about that. People go into marriage to build. You don't go into marriage to just get what you want out of the marriage. You go into marriage to build something greater than the two individuals. And when you are dedicated to that in marriage, then you can build those great things, and you can build a family. You can have a legacy, right? But if you're in marriage and all you want is to get what you want without building, you're gonna be you're gonna be frustrated because sometimes in marriage, man, I'll put it like this: a lot of times in marriage, it ain't about you. It's about what y'all have come together to do. It's
You
about the
know,
legacy you building,
you know,
and you have to
one
be willing to sacrifice for that.
one
So,
thing I learned, Rock, was that when I knew a relationship was starting to pick up momentum is when we start using we. You know what I mean? And using it in future tense. You know what I mean? I think that's such an obstacle for a lot of people. You know what I mean? It was even an obstacle for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at my future, and I'm dating someone, and they looking at their future, and we're not even realizing we're looking at each other's futures individually. You know what I mean? We're not looking at like they're talking about what job they're going to next. I'm talking about what move I'm gonna make next. But we're in a relationship and we're not even talking as in there's a future for us. I think when you start using we in a relationship and use it in future tense, man, I think that's when you're starting to pick up some momentum, and that's when it's starting. You might be, on to something in that relationship if you're just able to stay focused on that person and find out whatever challenges and differences and make those compromises. I think that's the hardest thing for people to do now. They're in a relationship and when do I start using we in future tense?
Hey man, we got some young watchers, man. We got Lexi stating that most young people are getting married based off of one trying to survive off the other. Y'all think that
That
that's
don't seem like it's gonna last though.
no? I mean, but they don't. Most of the relationship nowadays are so fast, so quick. Uh, people really don't have the right I guess the right agenda for a great foundation
Well,
to be able to have a long and lasting relationship, and that's the reason why most of them are super weak. They start off weak. You know what I'm saying? They start off. Most people start off. Screwing each other really, and partying, screwing each other and partying. But at the end of the day, you know that's that's only a short time. You feel what I'm saying? So I look at it. I look at it. Um, I I guess in the past maybe 5 years, 5-10 years of my life, I've been so focused on trying to be successful that it passes by a lot of opportunities. So you know,
Let me ask you this, JJ, and this
maybe
is
that's selfish. You know what I'm saying?
let me ask you this, JJ. And this is going down like this. Can someone be good for you even if they can't elevate your status? You know what I mean? Can someone be good, but if you marry them, you're not you ain't gonna find yourself in another tax bracket.
can you give us a little more volume, Brent? Because
Yeah,
you're a
Right.
little low.
Oh, am I coming in low?
All right,
mm,
Yes.
you're a little better now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, all I was saying was, can someone be good for you, be good for your soul, but not elevate your status? You understand what I'm saying?
A-
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, and she's saying, most of the time when young people get married, it's based on one trying to survive off the other. I, I, I think it's the mindset that's coming along with that.
um,
If this person's not elevating my status, so they're not really helping me. But I don't think that's the only form of, statuses change. People jobs change.
Why
Money
can't
comes
we have
and
both?
goes.
Why can't we have both?
I guess that's I guess that's the
I
obstacle.
like to reach for the
That's a
stars. Like, you
challenge.
know what I'm saying?
so
Like, I like to reach for the
so
stars.
so here
Part of
so
getting
here
married.
here
so
here's the go ahead, Jojo.
yeah. So what I'm saying is that you saying it's good for the soul, elevate the status. So looking at it in general too, if you have the woman that is supposed to be for you, naturally as a man, you elevate in general. You kind of transcend as far as further than what you could alone. In general for that too. So if she is good to your soul, she will elevate you as well. I'm talking about status, but I mean just saying you're gonna work hard, you're gonna do what you gotta do for the sake of that family and that unit. So
So
that's what I'm looking at. Like I think it kind of goes both hand in hand. If she do good to your soul, you're gonna your productivity is
Yeah,
gonna
I
be,
think I want both.
you know what I'm saying?
That's a lot to ask for. I want both.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Is that a
so
lot?
is it
That's
is
like a
it
lot. You
possible?
guys want both? It is possible. Anything's possible.
So here's the deal. Is it possible to go back to my favorite couple in the whole world, right?
Uh-huh.
My favorite couple in the whole world is James and Florida Evans, right? Is they were concentrating on building a life with each other with the resources that they had between the two of them. They were kind of stuck in the status that they were in, right? But were they good for each other?
Mm.
Absolutely. I think
I
there's
think
no
they were
question.
great for each other, but I just said why I can't
Uh,
have
uh,
both.
so my point in saying this is you you certainly can have both. But if you put one priority over the other, I think you are undermining the true institution of marriage, is what I'm saying.
It's
Like
50.
if you make obtaining resources your primary reason for getting married, you're undermining the institution of marriage.
Yeah,
You
So
I know it sounds crazy when I say this, but I know I hear a lot of people saying they marrying for money and you know what I mean, business and all that stuff. I still believe in those little fairy tales and I want to be in love with that person. I still want to crave that person. I still, you know what I mean? I still want all that. All that other stuff don't matter to me. And I know it may sound crazy and cliche, but it's gonna be there. But I'm not gonna
but you
be
said
that's not my main priority. I still gotta love you. I still want
no,
to desire
but
you. I want to use a business partner. I don't like the idea of having a
so
husband.
what about the status element? What Brent is talking about it when you talk about status, Brent, you're talking about economic and social status, like a person marrying to achieve a higher economic or social status, meaning that
right?
you would
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
marry someone who not only you had attraction to, that you only like, not only
right.
that was good for your soul, but he also elevated you to a different stratosphere in social
Why we can't
circles
meet on
and
the
an
same
economic
level and we
level.
both elevate up, Rob? Why we
Hey,
can't meet
hey,
here? Why we can't meet here and then we climb together? I
hey,
ain't
Rock.
one don't
I
have to
mean,
be down here.
all that sound good, all that sounds good,
Yeah,
but
you're
that's
not
not
gonna
generally
touch
what
my dream.
happens though.
Okay.
Hey,
I,
hey,
I
hey, Rock.
still believe there's people out there that can.
Where I'm coming from, I would rather have a simple life with the right person than
Absolutely.
a life of luxury
Absolutely.
with the wrong person. And I wish
Absolutely.
JJ will highlight the point that Lexi made because she she brought up something that I think it gets a lot of people in trouble. She said, you know, my financial situation, what she was aiming. She said, I'm trying to build my brand, my financial situation, and independence. You get what I'm saying? And I get it. I get it. You're by yourself and you're trying to you know, you're trying to survive all by yourself. But to me, in regards to a relationship, it's like being on a team. You got to have an interdependent, um, um, you know, you got to be interdependent. You know what I mean? In order to exist in a relationship, you know what I mean? Not codependent, interdependent, which means that just like you're on a basketball team, you can't have your agenda can't come before the teams. You know what I mean? That's why I used to tell my son all the time, you up here arguing with the coaches, you're not being a team player. You know what I mean? They see that you're putting your own goals and objectives over the teams. And you know, that's why a lot of teams fail because you know that you got one person putting their you know goals over the whole teams. You know what I mean? And I just you know, I understand people want their independence, but when you start getting into the relationship game, you gotta be interdependent.
Hey, for sure. Hey, real quick, man. We got a bunch of watchers right now, man. A bunch of viewers. If you can, please share this live right now. Please share this live on your Facebook, on your Instagram, whatever. Please share it. Please go over to YouTube and hit that notification bell. Subscribe. Uh, we do got the Sexy Cigar Lounge merch. You know what I'm saying? So if you wanna
Yes,
if you wanna
sir.
if you want a cup, you know what I'm saying, please let me know. You know what I mean? But let's get back to it.
I'm just reading the chat and I want to address a couple comments. I know Goat made it sounds like a Walt Disney movie. I don't think it's my truth. I mean, I just hate when we try to hoist away somewhat. I hate when we try to demise what somebody else wants and what they need and what they expect and what they require. I think it's messed up. Like, don't. I got daughters. I'm not gonna tell my daughters don't think like a Walt Disney movie. I'm gonna tell them, hey, get what you want, go after what you want. I'm not saying be a Disney movie, but stand on your principles and your morals. Don't dumb yourself down and make yourself like a certain person because this person feels that way. If you don't get that, you don't get it. But don't sit there and say, well, you sound like this and this and that. But it's kind of like y'all, I think we just so caught up in monetary things and status and what other people think about us that we forget what we really want. We so busy trying to please and please other people, be people please. We're gonna say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take this because it sounds good and look good. I'm not okay with that. Not this big age of 40, I'm not. So if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. Life still goes on. I'm not gonna die tomorrow. Thank I'm knocking some wood, but you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't happen the way I want it, but I'm gonna get close enough that I want to. There's nothing wrong with having standards and morals. I ain't got to get Pookie from the gas station. No, I don't want Pookie from the gas station. I don't. And I don't have to do that. Care how much you love me. I don't want Pookie from the gas station. And I know it sounds shallow, but so what the fuck about it? I mean, you know what I mean? Like I just don't get it. Like we always want to
Yeah.
try to, hey, take this and you'll be okay. As long as you got love. That same Pookie gonna cheat on might make cheat on you from the gas
Man,
station. But I got
I'm
love.
gonna say this, DW. I totally agree with you, and I go back to what I'm saying. My favorite couple, uh, my mom and dad, been married 49 years. You know what I'm saying? My dad done been there for my mom through cancer. When I was little, I could see them argue about money a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Argue about this and that. The the relationship was rocky, but they always sought help from like a pastor, uh, marriage counseling. They was going to marriage counseling back then when I was young. So I don't think that relationships are built on this anymore. I think that people quick to give up. They quick to give up on relationships because there are so many options out there. And I think that me and Brent talked about this, you know what I'm saying, the other night on the show. People have so many options. You got your Facebook, your Instagram, all of these
Testimony
websites
tools,
where
boy.
where where you get all of this attention. So it's easy for people to move on from people. You know what I'm saying? Love and when people say love is not, a relationship is not built on love. That's what's so scary about it. Yeah, we can look at it as a business and as a partnership, but man, if that love is not strong, that shit ain't gonna work, man.
I agree, JJ.
I definitely agree.
All this forcing stuff and doing stuff for other people is old to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I think people do so many things to impress what how should I say how should I say it sometimes we worry about what other niggas think so much so we forget ourselves and what we need and what we want and what we desire and what we should have. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. They don't do nothing for you. But we so caught up in this microwave society where we expect to have, I got this, I got that, I saved her from McDonald's, I saved him from that. Man, no, be you. Look, I'm not, no, I'm saving children. You hear me? That's it. That's it.
Hey, are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we
All
can.
right, my
Yes.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey man, hey, we got a bunch of watchers right now. Hey, I need all of y'all asses to go over to YouTube and hit that subscribe.
they Facebook freeloaders, JJ.
Yeah, hit
They
that. Don't be getting this game for free, man. You
yeah,
got to pay your
they
dues. You know what I'm saying? Go over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, man. Like some good wholesome folks should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Please subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, Nick, if you watching it, man, go over and subscribe to the damn Facebook channel, QB1. You know what I mean? Like, I subscribe to all your shit. But no, back to the conversation, man. I definitely wouldn't encourage anybody to go pick up anybody. You know what I mean? For the sake of picking them up. But I think through trial and error of past relationships, you start to learn yourself a little better. you start to understand your own value system. And to me, when that guy approaches you, when you and that woman start to get acquainted, nobody knows each other financial status. You know what I mean? Nobody knows what that person's going through. And if you could meet someone with a similar value system as you know what I mean? I think that's a good baseline to build from. You know what I mean? And even if you're at 120,000 and maybe they're at 60, you know what I mean? We could, we got the important things knocked out. Me and you see life in a similar fashion. We have a similar value system. I know I could count on you if I was to get sick. I know I could count on you if one of my kids were to get sick. I know I could, I know me and you are kind of like we're similar minded. We have a value system that we share. Yeah, I think that's a good place to build on. You know what I mean? And everything else to me could be worked out. Like Esquire, shout out to her from Clubhouse, and we were talking to some other guy. I think he was a lawyer too, and he was like his grandfather told him to just go pick someone. If they show you the right values, you know what I mean. Work from there. You know what I mean. Everything else will figure itself out.
That sounds miserable and forced. And
Miserable, because we
I
got the
mean, just
same
go. No,
value
I'm just
system,
going. No, I'm just gonna go.
and we're
Close my
attracted
eyes.
to each other.
No, I'm just saying. You don't know that. You said just go pick somebody. My mind registered. Close my eyes and randomly pick up. No, that's
No,
not
no,
something
no.
I'm going to
So,
do.
so I
No.
think the whole notion of romance has been oversold and over promoted, right? And the most important thing is that you find somebody that cares about you, that you also care about, and that you want to build with. That's it. It's not that complex, right? It's not that complex. It's not about uh uh, uh, jobs and degrees and all that kind of stuff. Because 30 years from now, I'm making a gamble on this. Whatever situation Mr. and Miss James was in 50 years ago, they in a completely different situation right now. And I would be gathered to say uh, education, jobs, career, status, whatever. They're in a totally different situation now, right? And how they met and how they began is just part of their love story. It's just part of it. It's so much more than that because
But
they
how do you get
decided
to the love story, Rock, without? I I'm trying to understand and grasp what y'all saying. Just
people
find
who've been
somebody
together 50 years
that fits what
didn't
you
have
want
a
and make it
checklist.
work.
They
Make
people
yourself.
who've been together 50 years didn't have a checklist when they started. They
I
didn't
don't have a
have
checklist
they
either,
didn't
Rock.
wait to find
I don't
somebody with with equal with degrees and educations and social status, and they didn't wait for that. They found a gentleman that they liked. They found a young lady that they liked, and they decided they wanted to build together. That's
But
how the
y'all know who
stories
brought,
begin.
you know who brought social status and finances in this conversation?
Who was that?
You and Brent. I never brought that up. I never said anything about social status, finances, or
I
nothing.
mean, this ain't the first time we had this conversation, though.
I know, but when they don't, everybody else don't know that. But right now, I didn't bring that up for that particular point because I know that's when y'all was going down that rabbit hole of saying, okay, with D Dub. No, I just said I need to be. You got y'all. What I always say, we bring. You got to look like something. I ain't finna close my eyes and say, "Oh my God, let me find my king."
No,
The devil is a lie. I ain't attracted to you. I
I,
gotta figure it till I make it.
and I don't even think we're talking about that. I don't think you even should forego attraction. I don't think you should forego attraction. What I
But I got
what I
to based on what y'all saying.
No, that's not what we're saying.
Social
At least that's not what
status
I'm
and
saying.
finances and all that other stuff. It's I got to be. I'm not gonna be with somebody I don't want to be with because it looks good. I keep saying that. A lot of people in marriages now because it looked good. We grew up in this community, and this person did this. They came from this family, and they all miserable. I
Man,
know
look
a
at
lot
here.
now. A lot of them miserable. They all go
I
out marry this person, but you
I
cheating on them.
I hate it for this generation because it's getting more complex by the day. We Back in the day, we selected the best people within our options within the community in which we live. We
How did that
wasn't
work
looking
out for
on
you, Rock?
Instagram
Rock,
at
Rock,
other women and
Rock.
all this
How did that
kind
work
of
out for
stuff.
you though, Rock? How did that work out for you?
I
You,
worked out good.
you
At
know,
first.
Hey, can
Oh
y'all hear
no,
me?
no,
That's what I'm
like I say,
saying. Y'all keep
it
saying we
wasn't.
did all this, but
Again, it did not not work because I didn't want it to work. It just was a situation that could not work. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, right? There's some beautiful results came out of that relationship. But what I'm saying is that we both wanted it to work. It just could not work. You know what I mean? Right?
you know what, JJ? Shan McClendon Thomas, she just said something that's very interesting, and I know it caught my attention. But we talk about all these new words that people are using nowadays, and I want to point to the word settle. You know what I mean? To me, that has been thrown around a lot. I don't want to settle on a person or whatever. I think when it comes to long term, you don't settle on a person. You decide on a person. You know what I'm saying? You make a conscious decision. You know what? I am going to go through the through the thickness with this person. I'm going. I'm going. Whatever challenge comes our way,
Thickness
I,
and
I,
in
I
thin.
and yeah, thickness and thin. Whatever challenge comes our way, I am deciding to go through it with this person. I'm not settling for this person. I'm going through these challenges with this person. You get what I'm saying? And I think if there's one word that we need to remove, you don't settle on anybody. You know what I mean? You decide on a person. You decide that this is the person. This
I
is
like
this
to
is my
side
point.
with settle because settle ain't in my
Yeah,
vocabulary.
This is
that's
my point
settled.
guard. And
Settle
That's
makes my skin
huge
itch and my lip
definition.
itch. I'm
why
not settling for something that I don't want just because
know,
it looks good. So I
you
agree, Brent.
you're gonna ride it till the wheels go off. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm not.
And it might not work, but we might be a Mr. and Mrs. James story. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna decide on this person, and I'm deciding that with this person, we're gonna go through all the challenges of life together. You don't
Hey,
settle.
but Brent, you also got to understand. Well, before I make my comment, Drew, did you want to jump in? Drew and JoJo, did y'all want to jump in right quick?
Oh no, I was just gonna tag, but well, the only thing I had to say is about what Rock was just talking about as far as for back in the day. I would just say like in this day and age, we are for self more or less, and then back in like I said, the olden days or whenever my grandparents, it was selfless. Then the day when they picked their partner and they're with their partner, didn't really matter if he could. It didn't matter if he check up the blocks. They just know there was a good person, and they just built on from there. They grew together to eventually love each other, but they knew their common goal and their purpose as far as for
They
the
ain't even
foundation.
like most of them ain't even like each other, but
No,
okay.
no, not at all. And my
Hey,
grandmother
but
told me that about my grandfather though, God rest his soul. But she said she didn't really like he was handsome. She was like, I didn't really know too much about him. She's like, we just got together, it was cool, and then like I said, we just got married, and lo and behold, 7 years later, we got a whole family full of some dope people. You know what I'm saying? And some great
yeah.
souls. So we just never
Um,
know.
and then man, I'm gonna say this because I talk to my dad a lot about shit, man. I try to get as much wisdom as I can from that man. Um, I know for a fact that shit was super slow back then. It wasn't a whole lot of movement like it is now. You see what I'm saying? Like people weren't they, their focus weren't on this. They focus on this right here and building, you know what I'm saying, a family, bro. And I seen it, man. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
JJ, I'm gonna talk about food for a moment, right? And for this reason, my grandmother was a great cook. Like she was a great cook, and it's gonna tie into when you talk about slowness or whatever and how simple things were back then. But when I thought about my grandmother's cooking, right, and I could think about all the dishes she made about 10 dishes. She had about 2 weeks worth of dishes in her repertoire. You know what I mean? And it didn't vary very much. And she rotated those 10 dishes over a 2 week time period, and she perfected them over time. And that's what I think the pace that they lived in, it allowed them to perfect what they how to it talk. they were able to maximize what they had at their disposal and use it in its best practice. We're so quick to change things and do and uh uh defer. I mean, not defer, but we so quick to change things, and then if we don't like something, make other decisions. You know what I mean? Make other decisions rather than sticking with what we have and perfecting and working with that. There was no box macaroni back then. There was no, I don't even think there was probably box cornbread back then. So everything was learned. You had to learn how to use cornmeal and all those things to
No
create the best products you
microwaves.
possibly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the best products you can. And now with all the options we have, right? I hear my kids all the time get to talking about, I don't want to eat that. We eat that all the time. You know what I mean? Whereas that was something that never was the case when I grew up. If you had beans and rice, a different meal was rice and beans. you know, and
Right.
so my point is that we have a lot more things at our disposal, and so I think it makes for a much more complex existence. Um, and we end up, adding to that, adding, making coming together more complex as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, man, first of all, you got to be able to make a lot of money these days to be able to enjoy everything that goes on in life, and some things are just not like that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but yeah, I mean, man, like I say, I talked to my mom and dad about this relationship stuff, about marriage stuff. You know what I'm saying, and try to get some gain from it, man. But if people get back to what the foundation is, then I think things wouldn't be so selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be different.
But JJ, don't they got to want the same thing? Don't they got the people got to want the same thing, right? Do y'all think
Hmm.
that plays a role in it? Because somebody may want something and somebody else may want something else. But the things I've noticed, even since I'm much younger than y'all, that people in my age bracket deal with is that they don't communicate. Communication is the biggest issue still to this day. And I think I sent y'all a video the other day. My daddy talking about that, about communicating. You know what I mean? Communicating in their relationship. 33 years married. That communication had to build. Like it didn't always start out good, but it wasn't forced. It was kind of like I know what she like, I know what he like. I'm not gonna get on her
I know
nerves.
I
He's not
am.
on her. They compromised a lot. I look at my grandparents' relationship. It wasn't a lot of compromise. It was kind of like, okay, I had to have to work, so this is my job. I knew he was gonna do this. This is my job. I know he was gonna do. I don't have any say, so I couldn't do much. I didn't have much wiggle room because I didn't have any assets. I didn't have any. I didn't have anything, you know what I mean, to offer besides me being a homemaker. Now you got us. Now we're able to go at least go half with you, come in and bring something to the table. So that means things change a little bit. So we can't look at what they did before. It was great. It looks great. It was beautiful when we grew up with it. But now it's like it's unrealistic expectations to think you're gonna get the same thing that they got. You're gonna put the same beliefs and morals on what they had on what millennials. What millennials have do. What we expect now is different. You can't keep expecting that stuff. It's
Right.
kind of we got to evolve with time. It looked good back then, but now it's not. It's not our reality.
All right. Hey Brent, when I drop this jewelry here, man, I need my little.
I
I
got you. I
need my
got you.
little.
Got you.
All
Got
right.
you. Got
Okay. Stop looking at the expectation and just appreciate. You know what I'm saying? The appreciation.
Bruh. I'm not hyping that one up. I'm not. Go back on the shelf. You putting JJ back on the shelf. JJ on the shelf tonight. Put J now. We're gonna try again later in 10 minutes, okay?
but you know what? You know, no one could. I know D Dub has brought up a bunch of things tonight, and I know to the audience it might seem like we're in contrary to what she believes. But I believe she has the right to want what she wants. Every woman do. And I would tell any woman that they should look for security. They should have reassurances that if they go down the road with this guy, that they're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't dare tell a woman to go against that instinct. You know what I mean? But what I would say is that when you get to know that guy, you know what I mean? When you get to know that woman, you know what I mean? I the, I think you have to first ask yourself the things that's important to you. That's your value system, and ask questions based on that. Do you believe in monogamy? You know what I mean? What type of lifestyle did you want to? You know what type of lifestyle do you aspire to? Are you are you deep into religion? You know what I mean? I think you got to ask those questions to get an understanding of that person. Am I saying something?
No, no, we reading the chat, but it's not you.
No,
Oh, oh yeah.
no,
I,
you're
I
laughing at
just
me.
oh my bad. I
Wait,
just think that
bro. I
I
agree with
just
you,
think you
friend.
gotta yeah. I just think you gotta
No,
first discern what's valuable to you, and then when you meet those potential candidates, ask those questions based off that to see if you and that person align. Because and then if you and that person align on those things, then you can move further. I think that you'll have a girl who just wants to have a good life, but she asking the guy, you got your passport, you got your how much traveling do you do, questions like that. Now, if those are the things important to you, of course, ask those questions. But if those things that you're just asking for is to get kind of like a the to get what the good times are gonna feel like, then I mean those questions might not need to be the core of your you're looking for your man.
Brent, I think those questions need to be asked sooner than later because I hate my time being wasted. I don't want you to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. I ain't getting no younger. You not either. It's kind of like, tell me, what do you want from me? What you expect from me? What do you need from me? What can I offer you that you don't already have? How can we bring this together? I got grown up questions at this point. I don't have time to be, oh my God, what's your favorite color? What do you like to do? You know what I mean? We got to have real,
what's your
what's,
favorite
you know what I mean?
food?
What's your intentions? What you want me to think? And I know that sounds forward and to the point, but sometimes it's kind of like, I want to find out that I align that way. I don't want to
And
waste
that's
my
all I'm saying, D Dub,
time.
is people asking questions that don't
My favorite
pertain
color, what I like to do.
to
Find
what a future would be with the person. I think
Play
people
21
asking.
questions later. Yeah, I'm not doing all that right now. What you want, Stink? I know that sounds ugly, but what you want? Straight to the point.
Um,
No chaser.
yeah, I'd have to say, man, I don't know if I was listening before though, man, but a lot of this stuff, like a lot of the like I said, new generation that's actually getting married and stuff have to be taught the foundation, actually see, you know what I'm saying, what a marriage look like or maybe a successful marriage look like to be able to even have that foundation, be able to build. Because a lot of people do go into it just basically, I guess, lusting or because at the end of the day, you're pretty much, like I said, I feel like the love is the work. And I feel like you get the honeymoon phase, which is basically full of lust and full of liking that person in general. But I think the
Right.
love is built work on everything. So I just feel like with that foundation, they just got to know what's going on, have that plan, and then execute it from there. But they both got to come together synergistically in that plan to be able to execute it. If without that, they pretty much would be, like I said, you always have bumps in the road anyway. But if they're strong, their foundation or their union, then it'll be more successful than anything else.
You,
For
you
sure.
know what, JoJo? I used to talk to teachers all the time when I worked in education. I would hear teachers say that, you know what, my boyfriend, I don't understand why I never met his family. He won't take, I never met his mom. I never met his. I said, did you ever ask him, was he big on family? Did you ever ask him, if he's a family
Why you ain't
oriented
tell the truth,
person?
Brent? Brent, why
You
you ain't
know,
tell?
well, yeah. I'm like, did you ever ask him that question? The guy probably ain't spoke to his family in years, but
Right.
because you maybe were
Mm.
attracted to something else, you know, now what the things that really matter to you are surfacing. You know what I mean? And now you're bumping heads on that. A person who's family oriented, we mean the family quick. You know what I mean?
Hey,
You meet,
hey, Brent.
yeah.
You got to
They
meet
put,
Harry, and Harry got to approve of you
hey, Brent.
early.
They put more on the expectation than the appreciation. Shout out to all of our viewers right now, man. Shout out to Letitia Cole, man, a very beautiful, special, smart young lady. Shout out to my dog Goat. You know what I'm saying? That they be rocking with us every episode. Shout out to Nicole,
It's crunchy
Shane,
black.
uh, just everybody, man. I appreciate y'all
That was
logging
it.
on. We're gonna be on for probably another 10 more minutes, man, and try to rock out as much information, man, with all of these watches that we got right now. I need y'all to go over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, man. Y'all know we got the livest podcast on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? All the other ones about to go. You know what I'm saying? We about to take over. I promise you that. Rock, what you got, man? Come off mute. Come
He
off
on
mute,
mute.
brother.
He was speaking into the mic too.
Hey, come off mute, brother. You good?
My dog Amar in the building. What's up, Amar?
Hey, Mari. It's not goat.
What you got, JoJo? We'll come back to Rock when he get his volume right. You know what I mean?
Oh, just talking to my last words.
Yeah. We gonna get everybody last minute perspective. What's up, Raheem? You got my girl Raheem the first time listening. Raheem, share the live, share the live. You know what I'm saying? Tell everybody to subscribe to the channel over there on our YouTube, man. This thing is growing. I promise y'all, it's gonna be the biggest. We're gonna bring y'all some of the biggest interviews in the game. I promise y'all. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? But hold on. Go ahead, Rock. What you got, brother?
Oh, my bad, man. I was on mute. But no, I just wanted to say, man, that I think it's, Brent said it earlier, but I think the key to young people finding somebody is find somebody you like, settle on them, and begin to build a life with them, man. That's
Don't
the
use the
key.
word settle, Rock. Don't use the word settle. You didn't
Well,
listen to me.
what I'm saying is make a choice. Let me say that. Make a choice to start building your life with that person. You know, you can wait up for a better you can wait for a better deal if you choose, but understand that a better deal may never come. This been your boy Rocky Miller, man. I always enjoy uh having conversations with y'all.
Hey, man, for sure, man. Hey, for sure. DW, what you got?
Uh, I said what I said, and I don't think you should settle. What's the word you said? Use Brent. Decide on that person.
ah,
Decide on that
Yeah.
person.
So
Absolutely.
don't settle and decide on a person, and don't do no pity deciding or no pity settling. Decide on what you want. You say when, you say how, you say what and who. Don't let nobody else decide that for you. That's all I got, Jay.
Damn, I thought you were gonna draw something way deeper than that, DW.
No, I think that was deep enough. Stop settling and decide.
No, I'm messing with you. I'm
You just
messing
want to
with
talk to God. Go to bed.
you. JoJo, what you got for me, my boy?
well, first off, I want to say shout out to Crown Royal Apple, man. It's definitely been my drink of the night. Mixed with some
Oh,
orange juice.
Crown Apple.
So I just wanted to make sure I put that out. And then, secondly, man, I just like I said before, man, we got to get to the time to where we're selfless instead of selfish. Pretty much, like I said, this day and age, we always focus on self with everything that's going on, man. You got these careers going on. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then pretty much other stuff too. We get back to where it's selfless, to where you're building for more than just yourself. Then you'll be beneficial in what you're doing as far as for the person you decide to go into life with. And that's all I have to say, big bro. That's it.
Ooh, that man, know he dropped that man sound like Creflo right there. You know what I'm saying?
Want to do it. Want to do it.
Brent, what you got for me, man?
What's up, JJ? I've been kind of like reiterating it all night, and I think Sun Tzu said, half of the obstacle in life is knowing who you are before knowing who your opponent is, knowing who you are. And I think we all have to reflect and understand what our value system is. And then, when you're meeting that person, ask those questions based off that. If all you enjoy is passports and weekend trips and stuff like that, ask those questions, because that's what's going to lead to your happiness. But I mean, if there, as all I'm saying is ask those questions that's based on your values and see if someone align. And then, what I say, you decide on a person. You don't settle for them. And if that person is aligned with your value system, y'all have similar value systems. That's something worth building on. You got a good baseline there. You know what I mean? And I think that's who you want to go through life with, face those challenges with. And I said it earlier. I'd rather live a simple life with the right person than a life of luxury with the wrong person. My name is Saint
Ooh.
underscore Brandon, and I'm out.
My people's dropping that knowledge tonight, man. Hey, man, I just want to say, man, shout out to everybody that's watching, man. We got a bunch of watchers that still watching, man. I need y'all to go over to YouTube channel and subscribe, man. Subscribe, because we're gonna be coming every day with some classics, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be
Can we
dropping
say
some
shout out to
game.
Jada? JJ?
I ain't giving a shout out to Jada tonight.
Shout out
Uh,
to you,
we,
Jada. Thank you, girl.
we're gonna be dropping some game, man. We're gonna be doing some real live, uh, 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 shows, man, and we're gonna keep it like that, man. I appreciate. Oh yeah, and hit the like button too.
Hit that like button, please.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Um,
masculine guy. Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate everybody locking in, man. As far as my last minute, as my last words, man. You know, uh, stop being selfish, man. Fight for what it is that you believe in. You see what I'm saying? And love each other from a realistic standpoint, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop putting expectations on people when you know that you can't have those same expectations on yourself. Always be mutual when it comes to what you want to give. You got to be able to receive what you want to receive. You got to be able to give. You see what I'm saying? And be mature about your shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to get into a relationship just to have fun and party. That shit ain't that shit ain't realistic, man. Because that shit runs out. You know, my parents been married 49 years, man. That's the best inspiration I could have. You know, I didn't live the life that they live, but at the same time, I understand. Uh, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's been supporting the Sexy Cigar Lounge. I want to give a shout out to the new people that have chimed in tonight. I need y'all to make sure that y'all forward these shows to y'all friends. We got some old shows that you can definitely go back and watch. Copy that link and forward it on to your whole Facebook timeline, man, because we got some real live gems on there, man. Um, and we're gonna come back every day with something new. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate my fam that be jumping on here with me every day. And until next time, peace.
Love the one you with.